We just saw how to build a state machine pattern using Power Automate and specifically SharePoint, but this is applicable to any other technology. And the one that I like the most is Dataverse because it's easier, even easier to build with the trigger conditions in the filter with the OData syntax. Very much more maintainable. Now you can end the video here, but I'm going to show you now how to build that button in the SharePoint list to actionate the flow and how to use that dynamic patching or dynamic updating of any SharePoint item. So let's start with the button. So going back to the SharePoint list, we see this button over here that is going to execute when we click, execute a particular flow. This is very powerful because then, as we saw, we can do many things without providing and losing a lot of time providing an actual tailored user experience. Because in other contexts, we may need to create a Canvas app or tweak the form a lot or do other approaches like SharePoint Framework extensions with coding. Not recommended because in the end, we try to work with that a lot and we need to try to keep it as low code as possible for maintainability, for speed in development, and also because the deeper we are in technology, the more knowledge is needed, then the more difficult it is to find qualified people to help us out. So how do we build these buttons? Here there is this format, this column option for any given column. And with that, what you can do is, for example, change coloring of based on a value, conditional formatting, displaying the rows, for example, in different colors. You can Google it out in the documentation. Here you see, for example, alternating row styles, conditional formatting. But what we do is here go to the advanced mode, and this will open. And here, let's copy and show it in. It's already here in Visual Studio Code. So what we do, and you can just Google it out, it's called, if you click JSON formatting SharePoint, and the Google, sorry, in the docs, use column formatting to customize SharePoint. It's here described how to do this. This is the stuff that you can do. And if you go to advanced formatting concepts, you will find out how to build buttons. You just can copy it. What it is copy and tailor this JSON formatting code. The main things that you need to know are here: the display, and the text content, and the action params. Okay, what is all that? So let's start with the display. With this, we're going to control whether we are going to show or not show this button. And why is this important? Because we don't want to show the button all the time, because then we will allow the user to actionate the same thing every time, and we don't want that. What we want to do is basically, depending on the status, display the button, so that only when the status is certain value, we can show it. How do we show it? Just put the empty space here, or if you want to hide it, pick none, display none. And this is a basic CSS rule that comes from HTML. Now, the text content would be the text, the label that you see in the button. So it's sent form or not applicable or whatever it is. And you can use these if statements again to put, depending on the status of the value of the status at a given time, then it will show a different value. And then finally, the action params. This is the ID of the flow that you need to trigger. And it should be only one. Don't it cannot work. It's happened to me that it doesn't work properly when you put conditionals in this part. So rather use a flow that acts as an orchestrator, because if you put this dynamically, it can stop working, because there's this installation of the flow in the list that happens in the background that well, simply it won't work. Now let's take a look at how to retrieve this ID. So the way to retrieve this ID, and this flow can be in any environment, doesn't need to be in the default environment, of course. And we're using solutions in different environments, so this fits really well to ALM. Basically, we go to the flow details, and here in the export button, what we can do is here get flow identifier. If we do that, this is exactly what we get. the flow identifier, which contains the necessary information for SharePoint to know which flow needs to be triggered. Now, for that